Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys just a quick guide on the difference quotient. I'm gonna give you this because you're gonna need it for the test. Make sure you understand how this graph works, what it's talking about. Make sure you know how to label it and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some of the problems that are gonna be on the test. You need to know the difference quotient, which is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, so you need to memorize that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do one of the functions. Let's do f of x equals the square root of x plus 1. Okay, now all we're going to do, this guy right here is going to come in, it's going to get plugged in there. So I'm going to write square root of, instead of x, I'm going to put x plus h. Okay, x plus h, and then minus what? The original function. What's the original function? Square root of x plus 1 divided by what? H. Okay, there it is. Now if you notice what I have here, it's a radical, so I have to multiply it by the conjugate. So I'm going to multiply x plus h plus 1. Instead of minus, I'm going to put plus square root of x plus 1. And remember, I have to do that to the denominator as well. X plus 1. Okay, so what's going to happen? Let's go ahead and simplify that. When we multiply radical times radical, because we're going to basically be doing the FOIL method here. This radical times this radical basically is going to cancel each other. Are you going to be left with the inside x plus h plus 1 minus radical x plus 1 times radical x plus 1. You're going to be left with x plus 1. And notice that I put a parenthesis, okay? All over this big old hot mess over here, h times the quantity, the square root of x plus h plus 1 plus the radical x plus 1. Close that off. Now, if you notice, you have to make sure you distribute this negative right here. So what am I going to get? Let's go ahead and write it here. You're going to get x plus h plus 1 minus x minus 1 all over h times the quantity square root of x plus h plus 1 plus square root of x plus 1. And now we can start simplifying things. You notice x subtracts plus 1 minus 1, that gets simplified. Now h on the top and h on the denominator, that simplifies as well. So we're left with 1 over the radical of x plus h plus 1 plus the square root of x plus 1. And that would be your final answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another one. Let's go through it one more time. Here we have square root. Instead of x, I will put x plus h plus 4 minus the original function. What's the original function? Square root of x plus 4 all over the h. We're going to go ahead and multiply by the conjugate. So we're going to have x plus h plus 4 plus, because it's a negative, so we're going to put plus the square root of x plus 4 all over, we got to do the same thing on the bottom, x plus h plus 4, x plus 4. Okay, so what happens on the denominator? Well, on the numerator, the radicals disappear. X plus h plus 4. Now what happens to the middle part? Because this is essentially the FOIL method, but when you multiply by the conjugate, the middle simplifies itself out, so you don't need to worry about that. So negative times positive is a negative, make sure you put parentheses, and then we're left with radical x plus 4 times another radical x plus 4. The radicals cancel out and you're left with the inside. On the denominator we have h times this big old quantity here, x plus h plus 4 plus the radical x plus 4. Okay. Remember, let's go ahead and distribute this negative. What are you left with? X plus h plus 4 minus x minus 4 all over h times the quantity square root of x plus h plus 4 plus square root of x plus 4. Now let's try to go ahead and simplify things out. X minus x, 4 minus 4, h divided by h, you are going to get 1 over square root of x plus h plus 4 plus the square root of x plus 4. Let's go ahead and do one more. F of x plus h minus f of x all over h. And let's go ahead and do a function that is actually going to give us a complex fraction, 3x plus 2. We did this in class. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Essentially this x plus h is going to go inside, so let me start over here. 1 over 3. Instead of x, I'm going to have x plus h, okay, minus, let me get a different color, the original function. What's the original function? 1 over 3x plus 2 divided by, because we have this guy, divided by h. So now let's go ahead and, this is going to be a big old mess, but it's okay. Let's distribute the bottom. Plus 3h plus 2. Over here you're going to get minus 1 over 3x plus 2 all over h. Now you notice this is a complex fraction. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this big boy. Okay, so we're going to multiply by the common denominator, which is going to be, I'm just going to use these two denominators here, 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 3h plus 2. If you want, you can put a 1 under it. Technically we're multiplying fractions. Now whatever you multiply on the bottom, you have to multiply on the numerator, you have to multiply on the denominator. So essentially I have 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 3h plus 3 plus 2. If you want, you can put a 1 under it. It doesn't really matter. Okay, here's where we can start simplifying some things. If you notice, if I multiply this whole thing, okay, and this is what I'm essentially doing, I'm taking this guy and multiplying them here, and I'm taking this guy, multiplying them here. Okay, now when I multiply this guy times the first fraction, this is gonna get simplified. What are we left with? 3x plus 2. Minus, let's put a parenthesis. Now when I multiply the second fraction, you notice that 3x plus 2's are going to be simplified. You're going to be left with 3x plus 3h plus 2. 3x plus 3h plus 2. Alright, so that becomes the numerator now. On the bottom, what do I get? H times the quantity, 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 3h plus 2. Alright, now let's go ahead and simplify this further. Distribute this, and you are going to get 3x plus 2 minus 3x minus 3h minus 2 all over h times the quantity 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 3h plus 2. What's going to happen? Let's see if we can simplify some of this out. 3x simplifies, 2 minus 2 simplifies. Now you notice the h here, because it's a monomial, simplifies with a monomial here. we are left with negative 3 over 3x plus 2, the quantity 3x plus 3h plus 2. And that's your answer.